everyone, and welcome back to my channel True Crime and Trials, where I cover true crime and trials. I like trials because I prefer more facts and evidence and proof rather than just speculation from the media or whatever's rumours are flying around. So most of my content is trials, and due to COVID there hasn't been many live trials. So I saw that the Casey Anthony trial was available to watch, so I have covered the whole of the Casey Anthony trial, and I have now finished that, so this video is now my thoughts on the trial. So if you're interested in my thoughts, grab yourself a coffee, sit down and listen along. So the minute I saw this trial was up, as I said previously, I really wanted to sit and watch it because I'd heard so much about her, and I couldn't believe this woman had so much hatred towards her. And you know, the fact that she was found not guilty and so many people thought she was guilty, I thought, well, I'm gonna have to sit and watch this myself and see what happened, not knowing just how long this trial was. But I must say I have learned so much from this trial, so much. I mean, I didn't know much about Casey Anthony or the case. All I knew is that she'd been accused of murdering her daughter, and again she'd been found not guilty, and she had got away with murder. So, like I say, I had to find out why there was such a huge miscarriage of justice. So I tried to go in without any bias, just to go in purely open-minded and just see which path I went down. And I prefer to view it as a juror, you know, without my personal opinions. Yes, I will have personal opinions, but I'm quite good at separating those and just going based off the evidence that is being shown. And I also wanted to find out who was defending Casey Anthony. I mean, one of the most hated women in Britain, no, America. So who was this person that was defending her? And obviously, seeing Jose Baez, I had no clue who he was. And all I could see was this smirk he constantly had on his face. But thought, well, you know, there must be something about him if he got this woman off a first-degree murder charge. So, you know, and also I wanted to see how the prosecution had done. I mean, was it something they did that meant that Casey Anthony, you know, ended up free? Or was the defence just too good? So, what do I think? Honestly, I can't get past how Casey said nothing about Kaylee for so long. I mean, she was gone a month before she was caught, basically. I don't think she would have come forward otherwise. I mean, and who does that? I mean, any mother that I know would ever thinking about doing that. So, you know, the prosecution did do well to highlight, you know, how Casey was behaving during the time that Casey was missing. Kaylee, excuse me. I mean, to go to the lengths that Casey did to try and deceive law enforcement was ridiculous, and then to change her story, I think it was a couple of times, was just plain stupid. I mean, if your daughter meant that much to you, you'd be upfront and honest from the get-go. You know, it's just the obvious thing that you would do. The lies, the behaviour, and a nanny nobody had ever seen made Casey look as guilty as they they come. I mean, so then the Anthony family, Lee, this is the impression I got based purely on the trial, and Lee seemed angry at every single member of his family, and I personally, from what I heard, he had good reason to be. I think the family had issues, and you know, you could see this from the way they spoke about each other on the stand, and you know, the questioning from the defence and the prosecution. You just built up the image that this family was not happy. They liked to keep secrets, they didn't like talking. And then the issue of Casey allegedly being abused, firstly by her father, and then it changed to her brother Lee. And I did feel bad, you know, an accusation like that coming out in such a high profile case just must have been devastating, but this wasn't proven. So I am not going to speculate on that. I just felt the one person I did feel sorry for was Lee, and I just thought it was just so mean, because he had nothing. Baez had nothing to prove any of that happened, and it just brought the trial down. It was just awful. So, in a nutshell, the prosecution just didn't have enough to prove Casey killed her daughter. And to be honest, that was pretty obvious not soon after the trial had started. I mean, try as they might, it just wasn't enough, and the defence knew it. No matter what was said about Casey outside of the courtroom, jurors came to the right and only decision they could. The prosecution just didn't have it, and they were clutching at straws. Yes, they did well painting her in a really bad light, but even the scientific evidence was not strong enough. The defence disproved all of it, really, and you know, Baez and his team did very well with that. Do I think she's guilty? So I need to confess something now. I've written in my notes here that I was going to tell you that I was going to read Baez's book, and I was fully intending and doing this video before starting to read it, but I have started reading it. So in my notes I've put, do I think she's guilty? Yes, I do. But since reading this book, I haven't finished it yet, but since reading this, I really don't think she is. Don't hate me. Please don't hate me. But if anything, try and get past your hatred and anger, and all I can say is read the book. I'd read reviews on Amazon about it, and so many people had said that it had totally changed their mind about the whole thing. And you know, I really didn't like Jose Baez before reading this book. Like I said in my notes that I wrote, you know, a week or so ago, I thought she was guilty purely based on the way she behaved. But when you read the book, every single thing that Baez talks about makes utter sense. He has answered every single question that I had during that trial, and it makes sense. It makes more sense than what the prosecution put forward. So all I can say is please don't hate me, but that's how I feel. So if you get anything out of this video, please try reading Baez's book. So to wrap things up, I just want to mention what Casey is doing now, and many of you may already know, but Casey, it's been out in the news that Casey's starting her own PI film, saying she wants to help wrongfully accused women. Although Casey is a convicted felon. She will not be able to get a Florida private investigator's license. I mean, people, it's such a divide, but you know, I'm with those that don't think she's guilty, and I think the chain of events that Byers put forward in his book is actually true. I have seen something else. Just let me, something about what Casey, something about a documentary that she's helping make. Bear with me. Right, here we go. It says, this came out on the 5th of February. Casey Anthony is producing a documentary about the murder of her daughter Kaylee on the 10th anniversary of her acquittal, and will provide never-before-seen testimony after not taking the stand while on trial. So, there we go. I know I will be watching it. Now I see things differently, so I'm sorry guys, I did think she was guilty, but now I don't. So this is the end of the Casey Anthony trial, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you to all of you that have watched it. I know, I mean, I've been going a year and I'm still, you know, having problems and relaxing and talking, but thank you all. So I will see you back when I start another one. So until then, bye for now.